Did we hit that intro? Wow.
Hello. We got it. We got it.
Oh my God. How are you? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very sleepy this morning. I'm slowly warming up. I did not get a good night's sleep, so I'm a little slow, but we're getting there.
That's okay. I
Yeah.
understand. As I was saying to you behind the scene right before we started, I was having a bit of a frantic, I'm not ready, nothing is ready moment. So apologies.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. A little chicken is all right.
Right. Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I feel that way every time I host, honestly.
Do you really? Because you always have a very calm and calming nature, I feel like. So it just comes off as like, you know what you're doing. Everything is under
No,
control.
no, no. It's gotten a lot better now that I'm streaming at this desktop because it stays set up.
I think you're getting
My
your
my
smoothie.
smoothie is here. Yes.
Smoothie time.
Thank you.
I love that
But
you
when
have your own personal servants, you know? That's
I
fantastic.
know, I know, I know. It is a subscription model, but I'll
Of
take
course.
it.
Of course. Yes. Love that. But yes, so as anyone in the comments might know, we're the Lazy Gang. We're doing another stream and we're going to do some sprints. And we also will have a topic to discuss that normally we have questions ready for. And I absolutely didn't make a single question today. So we will just have a banner.
Like
that
we
tells
said, chicken.
we'll just yap. We'll just do the usual yapping. I also feel like usually when we do have questions, we also struggle with time because we end up yapping so much about each. So
That's so true. We always never get to that third question.
there we go. Before we get into the comments, can I ask what your current state of writing is? What you think you'll be working on today? What's the plan? What's the vibes? What's the
Yeah.
February vibes for writing?
For writing and only writing, the February vibes have been amazing.
Amazing. Dare I
Yeah.
ask about the other vibes?
Just general American despair.
Right,
It's been
right.
hard. But I think that's one reason why the writing is going good because it's the one
Yeah,
thing that I can control when
it's
everything else
okay.
feels like I have no control or
Yeah.
impact and spiral, spiral, spiral. Um, but the writing, has been a really nice escape. In January did a lot of outlining again for Hera's book. I kind of paused just before my midpoint and kind of like retconned a few things and smoothed out some connections. And I'm really glad I did that because now I'm like going.
Nice. Don't get too
So
much
I
in depth into that because I know that's going to touch upon our main topic of the day.
so yeah, I've already written 5,000 words in February. I've been trying
Amazing.
to write for an hour a day. That's like I'll show you guys my sprint tracker because the tracker breeds reality, right?
Yes, absolutely. Which you're reminding
Um,
me I should probably get some sprint ready as well after that. Oh my
boom.
God, love it. Look at that.
Yeah. Each box is 30 minutes and your girl's crushing.
You are. You're doing great. You're doing great,
Yeah.
sweetie.
Thanks. I got through a pretty sticky sequence that I've never liked, and I think I made it a little bit better.
That's
And
good.
now I've hit the point of the book where I feel like it's all whoosh from here.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for that. But
that's a
yeah.
great feeling to have actually when it's all
Yeah.
whoosh from there.
Yeah. How are you? What are you working on?
I'm good. I am eternally pushing back the moment I start rewriting things for draft two. But that's not entirely true. I'm doing stuff. I'm doing the work that I'm gonna need. So
Okay.
I'm still
Yep.
working on rules of survival, and what I'm doing is a bit of spoiler to our topic, which is like a reverse outline for revisions. So I'm not ready yet to get into revisions, but I've done a lot of work on this, and we'll talk about this later. But that's what I'll be doing today as well, because I haven't done any of it today yet, and I have so far been doing a little bit of it every single day. So I figured I would wait until we get to the sprints because I had other stuff to do. So, yay!
Awesome.
Should we say
Yeah,
hi
yeah.
to our friends in the chat?
Let's do it.
Hello, Keiko. How are you? We've got a little chair from Stieg who is sat. Hello. I'm assuming that's what it means. I'm sat. We have Nina. Hello, everyone. Keiko says, Anna really has a calming nature. Like, seriously,
My
I feel
gosh.
surprised.
I've
Confirmed.
tricked you all. I have tricked you
Confirmed.
all.
Well, it's about what you project, right? So
Mhm.
that works at least, even if inside you're panicking and going chicken. Outwardly, it's going
Yeah.
great. It's going
Yeah.
great.
Thank you, Keiko. That's very sweet.
And a little heart. I still have to watch your Notion video, Malin, still sitting on Lindy Jung's video. Yeah, this is an hour-long video, so feel free to skip through around to what you're interested in if you do want to watch it.
I'm so excited.
I did post it an hour ago, and essentially I made it with a full-on explanation for everything. So it's quite long, and I just wanted to go through my whole like writing setup and how I've made it. And then when I was filming it, it made me want to improve it. So actually, there's like the base version, and then there's like the slightly even better, make it
Mm,
prettier and more functional version. So that's why it's so long.
cool. I'm excited. I can never stick to one thing with Notion. Like every project that I work on, it ends up changing and becoming different. So
But
I'm
that's the
really
thing is,
excited to see yours.
I do have like a main writing like dashboard, and then each individual page for my writing pages are different because it changes every time. I'm not going back to change them every single time. So it's
No,
more,
yeah.
it serves my purposes at the time, and some of them there was very little purpose for one, and some of them there was a huge purpose for it. For instance, Space Princess had so much world building work before I even started writing that that one is the most developed of all of them. But
Yeah.
other pages I have like very little in there.
Mhm.
Yes. And hi, Kagehime. How are you? How's it going? Keiko says, I would love to write in general because work has been madness driven madness for the past 2 weeks. Sitting between new fanfic, old fanfic, or original work. Um,
Ooh.
I think go with what your heart desires. We're not here to judge if you decide to bunny hop to other pastures. I
Mhm.
will never judge anyone on the Lazy Gang channel because this
No,
is
absolutely. We're here for the
not
least amount of friction possible on a Sunday.
Yes, yes. If you feel like you want to work on, a new fanfic because you're tired of the rest, do it. I'm not going to stop
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. I honestly had a little bit of a plot bunny this weekend, and I might take one sprint to write it down. I think it wouldn't
Oh,
take a whole sprint to do, but I feel I must.
you must. I mean, also this is like a good time for that because then you can focus on Harry's book on other days of the week if you want. So
Yeah, and I did write for like 2.5 hours last night, so
there
I
you go.
feel like I
There's
was
one.
just here at this desk.
And you've just proven how well you're doing with your little squares. So there you
I
go.
know. I know.
And in fact, incredible, Anna. Well done. So
Thank you. I know I've had so many months of like not doing well that it feels nice to be like, yeah, I'm writing. I'm writing.
you are. You are. Nina says, just started my first draft literally like 15 minutes ago. Oh my God, I joined the Writers Games. So that hopefully helps me focus on just the literary fiction project. So I heard briefly you talk about the Writers Games in the stream you were doing the other day. Um,
Yeah.
but I actually don't know much about it at all. It
Oh my
sounds
gosh.
like a gamification of like a teams-based thing so people can like write more.
Yeah, and honestly, I probably have the writers' games to thank for all the writing that I've done because
Mm.
I feed off of like a little healthy competition and also I don't want to let my team down. So like that's honestly been a huge part of it.
So
But
if
yeah.
someone wanted to jump in the writers' games in the chat or anything, are they able to do it in the middle of it, or is it too late
Mhm.
because
No,
it's already started?
I think you can go ahead and join. So go to Evelyn Black's channel and she's got videos on it and all the links in her video descriptions to the Discord. And so basically you pick a district based on your genre. So I'm in the romance district. I'm district 1 and you submit your either words or pages at the end of the day for points and there's like an averaging point system to keep everything fair among the different size districts. But yeah, the Discord is popping off. The live streams are so much fun. And I think a little bit of like team competition is really magical for writers.
I think for some people, it's like their main push. Okay, I found her channel. I'm just going to post the link to her channel there. Sorry, I was looking for that. And I was trying not to be too noisy because I have my new keyboard as well. So
You're good. You're
yes,
good.
by the way, if anyone was curious, here she is.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ah, so cool.
She is stunning.
She is stunning.
She's a clickety clackety.
Oh, maybe you should be unmuted on the sprints.
No, because I make probably weird noises while I write, I'm sure. So let's not put people through that. Okay, so I won't be joining the writers' games, I'll be honest, just because I actually do not thrive off competition. The moment I'm being told what to do, I hate it and I stop doing it. So that's not for me, but I will be rooting.
I can't believe you're not in Aries. Like, it's crazy.
I don't know what side of me that. I think it's just the Aquarius, because Aquarius are just very independent and we're like, oh no, this is where all the other sheep are going. Fuck that.
Whereas I'm like, I need the external accountability. Like, tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. Like, once I have an external requirement, I'll get my homework done. But I need someone to assign me the homework.
You have to be assigned the homework first. Let me get through the other comments. We're going to try and start sprinting soon, I promise, guys. As usual, I've always said we're yappers. Making soup, chicken curry, yummy. Oh, and this is my friend Becky. Hi, I'm here so that if I do any writing, I can buy myself one of those nice clacky sounding keyboards. So Becky has a problem, which is buying things she doesn't need just because everyone else has them on TikTok.
No. You know, no. Becky, this is a need. This is a need, Becky.
No, do not. Because she bought herself a really nice, fancy, beautiful journal. I don't think she's written in it yet. And
well, I mean, but journals are like, they have different friction because it's like you have to like, am I going to ruin it? Whereas the keyboards,
a journal is cheaper. A keyboard's 100 quid or so.
I'm not gonna lie. This is my project journal, and I've been doing a little journaling about the writing process. I literally wrote last night, along with the writer games. I think the keyboard is why I've written so much this month.
Actually, yes, to be fair, the keyboard is what keeps making me going back to my revision process. It's because I'm like, I want to clickety clackety. However, we made a deal with Becky, which was you have to do some writing first before you allow yourself to buy it, because otherwise, what is the point? So
that's fair. And sometimes using it as a reward is fun.
Yes, exactly. I do like rewards, and I feel like that would push me. You give me a cart dangling at the end, then yes, I will do my homework. You give me homework and tell me you have to do it, I won't do it. Nina says, oh my god, new Malin video, need to watch this ASAP. Unfortunately, it will not be ASAP because, like I said, it's an hour-long video. I'm so sorry for anyone.
No, I need it. I want it 2 hours. Let's go.
It is a how to use Notion type of video, so there's a lot of areas that people can skip if they are like, oh, I already know this, skip that. So all good. Keiko says, I won't be bunny hopping. I want to be in my comfort zone. Work wasn't fun. Oh, that's fair. Interest in the writer games. Teammate. Oh, is Kagehime.
That's my teammate. That's my teammate.
Amazing. Which district did you say you were in?
Romance.
Okay. So I've put the link to, I believe this is correct, right? It had some links. Okay, cool. Perfect. So if anyone's interested in joining the writers games, that's where you should head over to.
Highly recommend.
The teams and fun competition helps me so much with motivation. Love that. Stunning diva. I think that was for the keyboard.
Yeah.
I only like clickety clackety when I game, not when I write. That's fair. And I actually only like it when I'm writing, not when I'm working. So I have not plugged into my work laptop, only my personal.
Oh, I do use mine for work, and it is so funny when I'm writing an email and it's like, it's a little aggressive for email, but it kind of matches.
I need the magic keyboard for work, and also just because I'm so used to the keys and the combinations of them when I'm designing, I really need to know where I'm like touching multiple ones at once. So
yeah,
that's the main reason. Nina says, I'm a little sleep deprived, so my grammar and spelling and all that today. That's fine. Don't worry.
Me too, girl. Don't worry. Me too, girl.
Accountability. No. I will say this. I do enjoy praise. I definitely, I'm in the praise category, but
Oh,
the part where people tell you off on doing something, I'm like, fine, then I'll never do it again. That's the problem I have with
you have to
authority.
work with your spite somehow.
Yes, exactly. Becky says I have not written in my journal yet. Don't call me out. So sorry. On live on main. Live on
Live
main.
on main.
I wish I had a fun keyboard. Maybe I need one too. Oh my god, guys, stop it. We're convincing everyone.
I
And
did think about I did want one for like a year, and
yeah.
finally my other keyboard stopped working. So I was forced, she says, to get it. I had to.
It was a sacrifice. It was
Hands
necessary.
up. It was not my choice.
I think it was a little bit your choice.
It was.
I'm going to pop up with the banner for our topic of the day, but we'll wait until after the first sprint to discuss it because we have been yapping for 16 minutes, as we know ourselves. That's typical. So today we wanted to talk about revision process in general. So I don't have questions linked to this, but whatever we're talking about, please feel free to comment in the comment section. And I will launch a sort of unofficial first question, which is just sort of tell me about your revision process in the comments. Tell me what you normally do, whether you like it, whether you hate it, whether you prefer drafting, just a little bit of background information on your revision process. So that will be our topic for the day. I'll leave it up, even though there's no actual question. I'm so sorry. I'm so unprepared.
No, it's all good.
I was
You
filming.
just gave us 3 questions. We're good.
There we go. I was filming an intense video right before this, and I yapped for way too long during it, and then realized I had like 5 minutes left. So this is what happened.
All good.
Giga says it's a sign of the universe if the thing you want new and shiny breaks. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
The gods have spoken. Wait, guys, I think I have a fun keyboard somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it is in a box somewhere. I have to find
that is a crime, is having the keyboard and not using it. And not using
it. And stream yesterday was terrible to do. Oh, no, do not. I'm sorry. No, I'm going to stop you guys here. Go talk about this somewhere else because I've never watched this. It's the third time this would have happened. And then it's just going to be a string of comments about this musical that I've never heard of, will never watch because I'm not into musicals. And I'm just going to be like, guys, please. It's the third time you've done it.
Damn. Malin said, there's the door. That's crazy.
Just please, we're talking about revisions. Oh my god, it made me laugh that this came back yesterday. I was watching Crystal stream and this happened again, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It keeps happening. But yes, this was a crime about the keyboard. Sorry, I bought it for my iPad a while ago. It is too clickety clacky to take anywhere that isn't home. Yes,
I was thinking about like if we ever got to do a writing retreat. And I obviously would want to bring this, but can you imagine like 4 people sitting around a table with one of these?
No, but also this is so fucking heavy because I bought like a heavy one.
That too. And
I'm like, there is no way I am transporting this anywhere.
They are
like, it's just not going to happen. This is a home-based keyboard from now on. Yeah, so I get it.
It's so loud. Like,
yeah. I'm going to start presenting. I feel like it's still winter in February, so we're going with the crunchy.
Beautiful.
Nice. And we'll do, how long do you think we should be doing? Like 35, 40, too long? Or
as long as it's at least 30, because that's what one of my boxes is, and I don't want to split up my boxes.
Let's do 35. Does that work?
Yeah, that's great.
That way you have 5 minutes to fuck around as well.
Always necessary.
Perfect. And then when we come back, we can talk about revision processes.
All right.
Happy writing. Beep, beep, beep.
Ah, beautiful snow.
Stop sharing this. There we go. Nice. How
Excellent.
did one go for you?
Good, good, good. Yeah, I had some copying and pasting in this scene, which was exciting. So I'm like 750 words ish for that sprint.
Nice. Amazing.
How about you?
And you get to color in a little extra square.
I sure do. Sure
Nice.
do.
I did okay. I have gone through one more chapter, but that's it. And I'll explain my process soon anyway, because we're going to talk about this. But I'm also adding in notes in other scenes and other chapters as I go when I realize something is going to be reflected in other places. So even though it's only one chapter, I feel like I've done a lot because I was like, oh, this is a big one. I actually need to make a note here and here and there.
Yeah, I always feel that way when I do reverse outlines. I just end up bouncing around like a pinball, like connecting different things, and it feels very like exciting and non-linear at the same time.
Yeah, and I find that difficult initially to do. So, but I am counting my words in my revision notes because I need some satisfaction of like, I've made progress, I've done this, I've done that. So and like I am writing so much in those without it counting towards the manuscript. Let me tell you that this month, okay, to be fair, 2,400 or so words are from other projects that I was cheating on just to test my keyboard. Otherwise, I'm at 10K for the month so far.
Whoa, holy!
And that's revision, reverse outline words. Like, that's the main thing I've been doing. So
dang, that sounds really, really detailed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, so otherwise did okay. I had a little yogurt as well as a snack, and then Edgar hears me when I open the yogurt pot and he comes downstairs immediately. And I think he must have been he's in Jamie's room and Jamie's playing games with a friend, so he's like talking, so to not hear each other, he's got his door closed. So I heard he must have been really annoying, and Jamie must have opened the door and let him out so that he could come downstairs, because he's obsessed with yogurt, because we'll give him the end of pots and we'll be like, he can eat that. And now to the point that we have to give him the end off if we're having a little bit, like he can lick the rest. So he's licked the end of this.
Very good job, Edgar. That's so funny. I love that he could hear it from Jamie's room.
Oh, like his hearing is insane. When we have dog walkers coming in during the week, he will know before we do, because he recognized the sounds that their specific car makes.
Yeah. Wild.
Insane. And I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. That is Nick. And then I'll be like, okay, let me go over.
Thank you, Edgar.
Crazy. While we were sprinting at the very beginning of the sprint, I decided to just type down what I had said about the topic of conversation, because I said some very loose, vague questions around it. So just in case that helps anyone to like answer the question in the comments as well. What is your revision process like? And do you hate it? Do you prefer drafting, or do you love it and you prefer it to drafting? So that was the sort of very vague, loose questions I had around this. Shall I first go to see what our friends did in the comments, and then we'll start talking about this and see any answers in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Where was I actually? Oh yeah, this is me saying I lied. There's a question up there now. And also when we started the sprint, Keiko said, oh, we had still so much snow last week that my coworker had to shovel her way to trash container free. Oh my God. That's terrible. But also I love snow, and I'm very jealous, because I'll never see proper snow again as long as I live near London. It's just, pollution is insane. I'll never allow it. We also had an update from Stig's soup/curry. Soup cooked and consumed. Good soup.
Good soup.
Open my document and I'm ready to write for the next sprint. Amazing.
Excellent.
We got 502 words from Kagehime. Amazing. Good job. 118 words from Nina. I know you say struggling, but this is a brand new draft. This is still really good. You're still figuring things out. So very impressive still. I think this is an answer to revision, so I'll get that after. I think this is part of it. Rizzo loves the end of yogurt pots too. Oh my god. I feel like this is an old dogs situation. They'll be like, "Yep,"
Yeah.
and they'll recognize the sound of when you're opening something they know they can have.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm here.
I'm running. My parents' little dog is obsessed with ice. They give him like ice from the ice machine in the fridge as like a little treat. So whenever
In
someone
summer,
puts their cup in the ice machine, the dogs come and just sit.
Love that. Well, we will give Edgar little ice cubes in summer, and we'll put them in the garden so that but he loves crunching them, and just you hear the crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yeah. They won't they won't even like absolutely finish them. They'll just crunch, 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 and then
I think it's really good for their teeth, and they really like it.
Something about it feels like a stick or something.
It's also it's good for them when the weather's really hot, so it's a good one.
Yeah.
So, revisions, because we both have been deep into revision mode recently. And also, we've both been enjoying new processes and utilizing more of Notion for these processes. So, first of all, are you a drafting person or a revision girly? Would you have a preference out of the two?
I think it's definitely revision, and it's specifically, the point I'm at now, which is where I have my like awful zero draft. That's like basically like, what a brainstorm of what might happen, with like no descriptions, no, the language is whatever. The plot barely ties together.
I
got
want to
that
say
on
that
the
everything
left.
she's saying now about Hera's book, hard disagree as someone who's read it. Hard disagree.
I'm reading this draft and I'm like,
beginning.
I sent this to Malin. That's crazy of me. I was delulu.
I enjoyed myself greatly, and I feel like you don't understand that I have read way worse that was officially published. Reminder that Blood of Hercules has a book out in bookstores. Sorry. Book Nemesis. Book Nemesis. It's fine.
Book Nemesis. We have to say it.
I have to say it.
But I love this draft where I'm going from that version to my like first full draft, where I feel like all of my ideas actually start getting expressed, and I'm taking my time making them the scenes into real scenes and the characters into real characters. And like, it almost feels like rather than going from just draft 1 to 2, it feels like going from like 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, because of you're just like doing so much at one time with the rewrite. Like the first rewrite is so fun for me, and the first rewrite feels like my writing, where the zero drafting, I hate drafting. I pretty much have to like put a gun to my head to force me to draft. And
my God.
Like it doesn't feel like me all of the time. It feels like, just pulling teeth a lot of the time. That's what it is. That's what zero drafting can be. And then I feel like in the first draft is where I actually get to have fun writing, because I'm not focusing so hard on what should happen.
I feel like also, like you said, if the changes you're making are so multiple and all at once, you end up really seeing a huge difference between draft 1 and draft 2, and it feels like a huge improvement, and there's something really satisfying and very like tangible about being like, oh, this is taking shape and there is progress, and that is really nice.
Yeah, if I could show you like the difference in scenes between the drafts, it's like
you should totally make one of these videos people do of like reading one scene before and after revision.
Yeah, and it's so, especially in Hera's book, it feels like maybe 30 to 40% of the scenes are being kept, and a lot of it is totally new, and I'm trashing a lot, which honestly I'm so glad for. And I'm like,
no, my babies, I like
no. Like the plot is not, changing too much, but just the way that I'm acting it out, I guess.
Yeah.
is different, and I'm finding better solutions for things, which is really fun.
Wow. I love that for you. I love that journey.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
uh, I'll answer briefly first, and then I have follow-up questions. I feel like we will do it that way. Um, I'm personally more of a drafter, as we know. I
Mhm.
prefer
Yes, yes,
drafting
yes.
first
And you
because
draft so well. Your 0 drafts are so engaging. Mine are like
no,
police reports, as we say.
I disagree. I really enjoyed. I will only agree for the parts where you put brackets and said we'll write this scene later, and I was like, are you kidding me?
I do that also.
I was so annoyed because you picked the most two interesting scenes possible to not write in that first draft.
The pressure was too large.
But apart from that, I do enjoy, and I think that's the thing that's happened to me. It's almost I've grown to enjoy revisions a lot more, but for the opposite reason of you, which is that
Mm.
I don't enjoy seeing like the produce of my hard work being like, oh, this is what I've done and that's it. And like now I have so much work to redo and so much to do
Oh,
again. And that feels daunting to me. And so if I
yeah.
have that feeling, that pressure, then I'm more likely to give up on it and be like, this is not reworkable. There's too much to do. I could never do that again, blah, blah, blah. And so I feel like that
Mhm.
can't work for me. While if I have a very good first draft, then I'm much more likely going to be like, okay, this is doable. I can attack this. I understand where the problems are. They're visible. It's not like a minefield. It's like I can actually see the small
Yeah.
issues and fix them one at a time. And I think that's what I need. And the reason why I enjoy it is now because I have become more of an outliner. And so my first draft for Rules of Survival, for instance, I felt like was so much stronger in so many other aspects already that when I started doing the revision process for it, I'm like, yeah, I know what needs to be changed, and that's absolutely doable. And this, like, there's less of a fear of having to redo everything and more of an excitement of improving upon everything, if that makes
Oh
sense.
my gosh. I love that.
So
Let's just celebrate.
I
Oh
can't
my
click my
gosh.
fingers properly.
That's awesome. I think that I first of all, I'm jealous. Because I feel like I'm still in the first camp. And I that sounds amazing. It just shows, how far you've come and grown and you're finding what
Honestly,
works
I
for you.
hated revisions before. So I feel like a huge part of it is just figuring out what the process is for you and what works better and just like what you're
Yeah.
enjoying out of it. And I think with the thing we'll get to, which is like using Notion and organizing yourself and everything, I feel like that touches on a part of me that loves those little like databases and making a table and like
Yeah.
more that organization process. It touches on that, which before I never did it that way. And I'm very linear. So I struggled a lot with revisions because I'd be like, well, if I change this, that has to change over there and over here and over here. And how do I even compute that? And how
Right.
do I
Yeah.
even go through that? And so it felt like the only way to get through that was back in order, rewriting everything from the first spot, and I was just like, that's really
Mm,
daunting. That's too much. While
yeah.
having a more efficient process for me helps me not feeling like that's daunting. I think that's the
Yeah.
main thing.
Yeah. It's yeah, the reverse outline is really a big piece of it too, to be able to just attach where I'm making changes and like, I need to fix this one thing about character A. Like, okay, let's just look at the
Yeah,
scenes that character A is in and attach that to those scenes. And like, okay, that feels doable.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like a sort of follow-up question for both of us is almost the first question I put down there, which is like, what does your revision process looks like now? And like, would you
Mhm.
say that compared to when you first started revising things in general as a writer, it's evolved a lot? Like, where are you at now?
I always rewrite the draft from scratch. I have it up on one side, but
Yeah.
like this copy paste I just mentioned is really like the first time I've done a copy paste in the whole draft. I really, really try not to. I really try to like make myself retype every single sentence because then I also kind of end up doing a line edit at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why it kind of feels like expediting to draft 3.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I
there's
make
a bit of
myself
fine editing that goes into it at the same time.
Yeah, I make myself type every single word over again. And I do a reverse outline. I've played around so many different ways with the reverse outline. I think I'm still figuring out what my perfect revision plan looks like. Like
Yeah.
I've done it different every single time. Um, I really love the most recent way that I did it, but it could change again.
Which I think will, unless you disagree, but I was thinking maybe we do our show and tell Notion pieces after the second sprint. And so we keep that for
Fun. Yeah.
looking through in detail what we're doing now for revisions
Yeah.
after the second sprint.
That sounds
Since I don't really have questions prepared, I feel like that's the most, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I think, what about you? What's the nitty gritty?
The nitty gritty for me is, I think, this beast. It's
Mhm.
what has helped me change my process. Is just thinking of it in terms of a reverse outline that looks like a plot grid. And there's several writers on YouTube that talk about plot grids in general, but usually for the outlining part. And they do a lot of plot grids. So not to name she who must not be named, but J.K. Rowling famously plotted her books with a plot grid. And so there's like her
Yeah.
examples are online, you can find them, where you would have like the chapter number, the timeline, so sort of like which month of the year this is happening in, and then the main plot, and then the subplots, and each subplot has like a line or something. So that's generally what a plot grid looks like. I don't have a infinity multitude of subplots in my books because I tend to focus on the main plot and the subplots feed into it.
She had a lot of subplots in the Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
and I think that happens if you have a really multi-book series like that as well, is probably when that starts happening, obviously. Rules of Survival, which is where it's my first time doing this process, is a standalone, and there's absolutely no plan for it to have. I think it's my first time doing a proper standalone ever, because, right?
We will see about that.
I mean, it exists in my head sort of in the same universe as Space Princess, but before, like centuries before Space Princess.
Ooh.
That way I can reuse some of the same tech, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of it that way. That way I don't have to do twice the world building.
No need to come up with different iterations of like a comms, right?
Yeah, exactly. But in my head, Space Princess is more like once people from Earth has established that they can go and live spread out in other parts of the galaxy. So it happens way, 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 way later in the future, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Seems very high future.
Yes, exactly. It's got an aspect that's almost fantasy-esque about it. But when I decided to make my plot grid, my reverse outline plot grid, I'm only keeping to the one story event. So I'm keeping it closer to what Shencoin, friend of the channel,
Mr. Coin,
Mr. Coin, recommends doing. And it's quite close to his version of it. And I think it's available on his website online for anyone who wants to see what it looks like, because he's done one for Silence of the Lambs, is like his main example that he uses in the book. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I think what works well for me now, and that's where we'll do our show and tell after the next sprint at the end, is going back and forth between different scenes with Notion is so much easier because of how I've set it up. And it's just so easy to like, and that's what I did in the last sprint. I was like, okay, so I've got changes for this scene, and I would type them in my to-do list for this scene, and then be like, oh, but I need to establish this earlier. Otherwise, it's weird that this detail is only coming up now. When should this be established? When they're talking about biologs for the first time. Which scene is that? Oh, it's that scene. Going back to that, adding bullet point. You know, it's just like so much easier than before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, President Coin. Yeah. But yeah, so that's currently what my process looks like.
Cool.
Which I'm happy with at the moment. We shall see how much it serves me once I've actually rewritten things.
I think it's going to be great.
But I will say, like you, something I do enjoy is rewriting things. And that's something Katie talked about in her newsletter, I think, that came out yesterday, where she rewrites every single word. And I think part of it is that again, it's saving future me time. It's the idea of like, oh, that way I'm going to probably revise a little bit the sentence formulation. It's going to have a little bit of a line edit through, and that will
Yeah.
save future me time to not have to do so much work on that.
Mhm.
So,
And not only that, but I end up stumbling into so much that I wouldn't have
yeah,
got if I hadn't just let my fingers start typing.
agree.
And all of a sudden, the world gets so much richer just by like things popping into my head. And, again, when your brain isn't working on the
Yeah.
what's happening so much, it starts to get to flesh things out in a really organic way. And so I have to like leave the door open for that.
Not only that, but also I personally really like changing writing program when
That
I'm
too.
changing draft, because I feel like it's like the same thing as people say, if you want to see your mistakes, like print the thing so you have a different format to read or whatever, or like change from dark mode to light mode or the other way around, or change
Yeah.
the typeface to Comic Sans so you can really see everything in a different way. To me, it's retyping things in a different writing program. It's just
Yeah.
like it helps my brain
100%.
see things. Yeah.
Yeah. It helps it feel like a fresh draft. And it's like,
Yes.
if I spend like a year and a half in one program, doing draft one, I'm probably sick of that interface and I'm ready
Yeah,
to do
I think
something
there's
else.
something about the fresh aspect of it too that's like bringing back the excitement of when you first start writing your first draft, and
Right.
that's quite essential to enjoy it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Shall
Mhm.
we see what our friends have responded to this question in the comments?
Yes.
We're having an answer from Stieg earlier on that said, I think I prefer revisions at gunpoint. So easier to mold clay than to go out and dig it up, in my opinion. But
Mhm.
generally, I always seem to be yearning for the stage I'm currently not doing. True. Also
So
true.
true.
The grass is
Yeah.
always greener. And for writing, it's true as well. It's, oh, but
Yeah.
I dream of drafting again. And then when you're drafting, it's like, I can't wait for
Yeah.
revisions.
It's so true though that like the
Yeah.
first draft or zero draft or whatever literally just feels like shoveling sand and flinging it into the sandbox without much like care, and just the manual labor of just shoveling sand. Like that is what it feels like
I
to
think I
me.
used to feel like that more when I was more of a pantser, but I don't think I felt as much like that having done more detailed outlines than before. So that's probably
Mhm.
how again, it's like all about helping future me. It's like, how can I make my future life easier?
Yeah, I did very much pants the first draft of Hera's book.
Yeah.
Um, I had no idea about any of it, where I was going, what the twist, and I just discovered everything. So I really would love my next book to not be that way.
Fair. But I also feel like it depends on the project and you just don't know what you're going to prefer for that project. So you can't predict it.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Kagehime says, I put most of my effort into drafting. I use Gemini to help me with editing, and then I read over it. I find it much easier to be picky when I'm correcting an AI, even if most of the time it was me who messed up to begin with. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever used Gemini,
Interesting.
so no idea. I do use Pro Writing Aid for the last round of revision when I'm getting to line editing, and just seeing what they think sounds clunky, what they think where I've used a word wrong or whatever, like all of these little things, because
Yeah.
so much to go through at that point, and you've seen the same words so many times at that point.
Yeah, I have yet to get to a true line edit, so
Yeah,
I
I
do
that's
yearn for
probably
it.
the part I hate the most. I'll be fully honest. It's that.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're like, nothing new is being written. I'm just fixing things, and I fucking hate it.
Oh, I think I'm gonna actually live for it because it's gonna be
Okay.
like polishing a window. Like it'll be really satisfying, I feel.
Yeah, I find it boring, I think, is my main problem. But I did go through it very thoroughly for the Art of Summoning Demons, and now I'm just
Yes, you
like, now I
did.
know. Now I know. Steek says, once again, I'm aligned with Anna. Love taking a first draft to a second draft. It feels like I'm actually writing a book. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm rewriting the entire Act 2, so I'm basically first drafting again and kicking and screaming while I do it.
It is
Well,
so funny how when I get to a part that I need to like draft from scratch, I'm like, this isn't fair. Like I already wrote the book. Like, I shouldn't have to do this. Cry, cry, cry. And then I start
That's so
typing.
funny because
Like,
when I got to parts I had to rewrite in The Art of Summoning Demons, I was so excited. I was like, this is brand new.
it's, oh my gosh. It's my least favorite thing. It's so hard to get started
if we
on
could just,
something like
you know,
fusion.
fusion.
We've said this before.
Yeah. It's like Kege Hume says, I'm the opposite. Once I finish telling myself the story, I'm done with it and ready to move on to something new. I only revise it because it's what readers expect. I'm doing it for you guys. I love that. I love that. Steve says, love that for you, Malin. Thank you, thank you. I penned the first draft of the cowboy book and I'm never not outlining again because there's so much work to do. Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's all about fixing it for future you.
Yeah.
So I feel like I spent 2 years writing a draft only to be rewarded with getting to write it all again. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I have regrets about how Hare's book came to be.
I'm not gonna lie, the one book that I'm like, if I'm gonna shelve another book this year, will probably be Knights of Death. Although I'm not gonna say now that I'm gonna do it, but the main reason is because I penned too much of it, and I'm like, this is a whole mess that I need to figure out how to fix. So
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it, is my main problem. Nina says, this is going to be very helpful to hear everyone's process. I have never truly revised, and it is a scary thought. And once again, I don't even know if it's that helpful because I feel like everyone is like completely different. And
yeah, and I'm still changing so much about
because it's not even to everyone their own process. It's like to every project its own process. Everything's going to be different every time.
Yeah.
Love the plot grid, so helpful for just organizing my novel. Artemis surely will have, you mean Themis, surely we'll have another job to do one day. It is inevitable. Oh, as in like for book 2, if I ever want to write book 2. No, I like this idea of being a singular standalone novel.
Girly retired at the end. She's got her 401k and her man.
Do you know what? Maybe they'll throw so much hush money at her that she'll be like, nah,
she never has to step on a spaceship again.
I feel like they'll both live out. They'll make their own little freelance company since they both are freelancers in a way at the beginning of the book.
There you go. So, yeah.
There you go. This is the thing is I wouldn't shy away from if I were to like publish this book and people love it and blah, blah, blah. In my newsletters or whatever, I could be like, oh, let me write like a little extra after the book scenes type of thing.
Epilogue, yeah.
But you know, like, yeah, in the cutesy way that webtoons do it or whatever, where it's like, oh, and then a little scene of their lives now, but that's it, you know, not anything plot-like. Just
that's
no
fair.
plot, just vibes. Yeah.
Love it. As an epilogue should be.
Exactly. 100% Anna, drafting drains my will to live, while revision makes me especially excited for the story. Nina says, drafting pensing is shoveling sand, and revision is making the sand into a sculpture. I love that concept. I love that metaphor. Morning, Laura. How is it? Well, afternoon for me, but morning for you. Happy time zones. How's it going? And Lynn is here. Hello, hello. Love that metaphor, Anna. Shoveling sand, but also the shovel is tiny.
I know. And maybe the shovel is actually just my 2 little hands just slinging sand.
Oh my god, like what is going on with the line edits? They're horrible. They're horrible to go through.
Oh gosh, I think it's going to be such a relief to like do something that doesn't require so much brain power. And you can just kind of like, it uses a different part of your brain, I guess.
I think my main issue with line edits is that it gets to a point where you're like, I have seen these sentences so many fucking times that I can't possibly see them in a different way. And it just becomes hard to do. Like, it's just grueling type of work, I find.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Nina says, I have a full rewrite of a project planned this year, and I'm terrified, waiting to have a discussion with Anne, Violet, and Kit to finalize the outline before I start drafting. Good luck.
Oh, you're going to love it, Nina. It's really satisfying. Honestly, that first rewrite, like once you get like 3 chapters in and just compare like the first 3 chapters to the first 3 chapters, you're going to be like, whoa, this one is a book, you know? I think you're going
Yeah.
to be really happy about it.
I think it is nice to see the thing take shape into a book and be like, it's book shaped, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Hmm.
Lynn says, yeah, I'm with Malin Kagehime. I think discovery writers get bored once the first draft is done. That's me. Although I'm not a discovery writer anymore.
Hmm.
And I'm not bored yet. I'm just bored when it comes to line edits. That's the part where I'm like, that's when I get bored. Fine, I'll do a fanfic.
Love that.
Love it. Laura is getting ready for work. Good luck. Hope work goes okay. And we'll probably be doing one more sprint and then yap a little bit and then end the stream. So don't know if we'll have you with us once we're done with the next sprint. The Lockwood and co-author did that little Christmas scene posted for fans. That's so cute. That's adorable.
Oh, I would love to write that for like Gemstone. That would be so cute. Not that
That's
they have
so
Christmas, they
cute.
have a different holiday, which I actually feature in the book. So maybe I
Oh,
should have written that.
you should. And then it can be like making a fanfic of your own work, you know? It kind of sounds really
Yeah,
cute.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I love
The
that.
last scene of the book, the climax takes place at a equinox party that goes
Mm,
horribly wrong. So that maybe I should write the next year when everything's calm and cozy.
I love that. You absolutely should. Um, Steve says, just look up words, changing them, perfecting them, decluttering the million. What is SVO? I actually don't know. SVO lines.
Subject, verb, object.
Oh, okay. I have in my novel removing all the. I'm not going to say that out loud on my channel. Uh,
You
ambiguous
cannot
required.
make me.
You're not going to make me say that word. I say way worse on my channel all the time, but not today.
This is where we
Um,
draw the line.
Kageyume says, as someone who writes short works, there are no developmental edits, just line level stuff. And do you enjoy it? Is the question. That was the end of the comments, so I can take off this banner, put back this one, and I think we should jump into our second sprint because
Yeah.
we've been yapping for ages. So
Let's do it. And I'm gonna go make a coffee.
nice. I think I'll do the Apple one. I'm just getting that up. Share screen. There we go. There we go. Do we want to do the same? 35 minutes?
Yeah.
Does that work? Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Okay, nice.
All right. Good luck.
There we go. Yay. Just typing
Hello.
one thing. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
How'd you do?
There we go. Let me stop sharing that. Done. Sorry. Good. I was just finishing a note before I forget. You know where you're just like, if I don't type this now, this will never come back to me.
Oh, God, yeah. Please do. Make your notes.
Just because I was like, this doesn't make sense. How do I make this make sense? And once you figured it out in your brain, you're like, will I figure this out again or will I not?
Dude, yeah, I know that feeling. I had a writing thought the other night when I was falling asleep, and I was like, I really need to wake up and write this down. It will be gone. It will have
Yeah.
like absolutely dissipated by the time I'm awake. And lo and behold, I have no idea what it was.
Oh God. Well, the good news is very often it's actually not anything. And
Yeah.
it's just because the few times I have forced myself to be like, oh my God, this is such a good idea. You have to write this down, and you force yourself awake and you try to make sense of it and type it. And then the day after you're like, what? What was that?
I think I actually did last night dream about Harriet's book because I was writing very late at night, like right before I went to bed. And I remember kind of like tossing and turning and having like book thoughts. And then I like got up in the middle of the night and was like, that actually doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, classic.
Like my brain was like mushing around the contents of the book, but not in a way where like any real connections were happening.
The thing is, like, when you're having your dream, you think it makes sense. And I think
you're like, this is the most genius thing.
Yeah. And it's only once you're awake and you're trying to make sense of it that you're like, it did not. Like, it just didn't.
You're like, oh, actually, we can just let that go because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. How did you do this round? Were you actually working on Harry's book, or were you cheating and doing a plot? What do we call these? Plot bunny.
The plot bunny. No, I did. Well, I took a lot of that sprint to make coffee, first of all, but then I did do some Harris book. So I'm going to give myself like 15 minutes in the tracker.
You just got like coloring half.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But I did finish my chapter and I crossed 1,000 words for the day. So honestly, I'm like not too fussed about it. Yeah.
How about you? That's really good. Good. I'm now at chapter 22. Out of
how many?
I think I have 32. No, I have 31 out of 31.
You're really getting there.
Scenes wise, I've done 31 scenes out of previously 46, but I did add a couple of areas where I'll need new scenes. So I have a total of 49 scenes now. But still, I think that counts because I think in order I can see 32 to 46. So I've got a little bit more than a dozen left before I can be like, okay, I'm ready to write.
That doesn't sound so bad.
No, I feel like I've been doing regular progress really because of this. Because every time I'm like, I'll go back to my desk.
Hear that, Becky? Hear that?
No, do not. You don't understand because Becky's one of my in real life friends. I actually don't even know whether she's still here. But when I go over to her house, we joke about the fact that she's got like a dozen different started projects that have not been continued or finished.
Don't we all?
Because it's all the hobbies, you know, where you're like, oh, I'll try crochet. Oh, I will try paint by numbers. Oh, I'll try this. Oh, I'll try that. And I feel like this is another one. So, you know, I'm trying to be a good friend here.
But the keyboard is like, it demands to be used, you know?
But if realistically you were like, I'm barely ever at my desk using a keyboard outside of like work hours, would you get a keyboard just for work? I feel like I wouldn't, because I'd be like, because I don't think it's for work that she wants it. So I'd be like, why do you want to, like, when will you use it is the only thing.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm a work from home girly, so maybe it's different, but I love the idea of having two different keyboards to kind of like shift fun desk time, writing desk time.
I like going from the This is my work keyboard. 2, this is my writing keyboard. I do like that.
Yeah.
Shall we check what our friends did, and then we will do a little show and tell before we wrap up this session.
Excellent.
Where was I last? I actually don't remember. I need to scroll back. I think this was the comments that were being posted as I started the sprint. Steve said, would love a little cowboy Christmas special one day.
Oh, so cute.
But gotta get the cowboy trauma written first, I guess. Fair. You gotta go through the trauma before you get the Christmas special.
Yeah.
We need the cowboy trauma so the cowboy Christmas hits harder. That's true. And that was regarding my question about whether Kagehime enjoyed doing the line edits after writing the short stories. No, absolutely not. I recently read an old fanfic of mine and it was horribly written, but I honestly don't care. I still enjoy the story, and the language is just an evil have to use to convey it. That's so funny. That's such a funny way of saying it. Hi, Andy. How are you? What are you working on? Kagehime got 382 words. Stieg, oh no, I didn't write a single thing. Are you kidding me? Somebody wipe me. Stieg, you were supposed to do some writing.
Yes.
Maybe take a small purposeful break between your acts if you feel like you need it, though, because I feel like sometimes that's the problem, is just jumping straight from one thing to the next without a break.
Yeah.
So, Nina got 488 words. Amazing. The prose is not it, but I need to remember that this is a first draft and can suck. Yes.
Right.
If you are happy to revise it, yes. Basically. 336 words from Lynn. Edgar opening my door. Very nice. He just came in, walked, and left. Anna, you menace. What was this about?
I will, me being an enabler with the keyboard.
Yes.
I will always be an enabler.
Also, haven't seen a response from Becky, which makes me think she left. Very probable. I signed up a traditional Norwegian embroidery class in September. Exciting.
I actually just signed up for an embroidery class also, and my first class was last week, so I'm going to do it for 5 weeks.
Oh, that's very nice. That sounds very exciting. Cute.
It's really fun. It was really nice because I came in and the room was like 20 other 30-something girls, and we all found out about the embroidery class through our local romance bookstore. So when she went around, she was like, everyone, like, introduce yourself and say another hobby you have. Everyone said, I like to read books.
Girl, and you found yourself an accidental book club.
We talked about books the whole time. Once we got going on our samplers, we talked about books the whole time.
Like, this is becoming embroidery plus book club. Like, it's a combination.
I know. And I was like, if I can't like come out of this class with friends, like something is wrong with me, because like we're all the same person. Everybody has a water bottle full of book stickers. Like,
oh my god,
I gotta come out of here with some real friends.
Yes, that's really exciting. That's really cute. I love that.
It's very fun.
That does sound cool. You want to go out again? Are you fucking kidding me? For fuck's sake.
Edgar reminds me of like when you're a kid growing up with siblings and your brother runs in your room just to fart and then runs out.
Literally, he's a menace. It's because it's right after dinner and he gets like a burst of energy right after dinner for him, and then he's like gotta like play tug of war, and he brings you all the toys to play tug of war with, and it's just like, yeah. But right now, not my job, Jamie's job. There's no time for breaks. My deadline is coming so fast. Yes, but if you're slumping because of it, then you still should take the tiny little break so that you can go back into it with renewed enthusiasm. I don't know.
Oh my god, there's a comment from Jamie.
This is Jamie telling me he's going wild in here.
That's so funny.
Yes, I imagine. Well, play tug of war with him, please. Steve says, oh my god, Anna, once again, we're insane.
So true, honestly. Like, we're just living parallel lives.
Twinsies forever. 3 days, Friday to Sunday in September. That's exciting.
Oh my god.
I hope.
You know what? I would really love to swap projects. Like, can I mail you something that I make, and can you mail me something? Can I hang it on my wall?
So cute. That'd be
I want to
so
have
cute.
I want Norwegian embroidery.
Specifically, Stig's Norwegian embroidery.
Listen, I've seen those mittens. I know this man can create some art.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful mittens. Talking about art, can I make you show us what you've been working on, Notion-wise, to help you
Mhm.
revise Hera's book? And if you could explain a little bit about your process using this new, I guess,
Yeah,
Notion template, this new page. Um,
absolutely.
and Stig says it's called Hardanger Som, if you want to look up the embroidery style.
I
Oh,
do. I do. I do. Hold on. Let me Google this really quickly.
me too.
Whoa, whoa. Okay, this is like on another level. What I'm
Beautiful.
doing looks like kindergarten compared to this. This is
Um,
like almost like lace making. My goodness.
yeah, it does look like lace making, actually.
Wow. I love this for you, Steve. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I will screen share. So yeah, like I said, I've kind of like changed up how I do a reverse outline like every time I start a new draft. It's been different. I've not settled on like my one true way. But in January, I kind of felt like I needed to try something again. Um,
Yeah.
and no surprise to anyone who's been around, I really defaulted again to the KM Wyland book, creating character arcs, which we talk
But
about all the time, my patron saint.
it's not just defaulting to it, it's like it's generally a really useful template
Yeah.
for this kind of stuff.
And I love that book. I'm going to go through all this, but I love that
Yeah.
book because it really breaks down the novel into sequences. And I kind of almost prefer that to think about everything in sequences and like chunks. So, like, a novel is kind of like, I think it's like 8 chunks that
Yeah.
she goes through rather than the typical like act 1, 2, 3, which is also part of it. But I don't know. I just liked that little bit of a zoomed in look of like what should be happening in this chunk with your character arc.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to like take some time to kind of translate that into a roadmap for myself. And so this doesn't have a ton of like specific Harris book stuff in it, which I'm glad for. I'll use this in the future. Um,
Yeah, you've
but
made a
what
little template for yourself that you can reuse again and again in other projects if it works well for you this time.
Right. So for instance, the first sequence, the normal world, and I don't mind if you guys read this, but I wanted to pull out, what she says in the book should be happening in this sequence and the points to hit. So in the first sequence, we should be doing these 4 things. And then what I also like felt like I was having trouble tracking was, what does Hera believe in each sequence?
Mm.
As far as the lie and what she wants, what her goal for that sequence is,
Yeah.
how she feels about the supposed love interest, and how she feels about magic is also another part of her character arc. So these are the things that are changing throughout the book.
I
Um,
love that. I love that you're keeping
so
track of all of these separately and that you made your own things that you're like, okay, I actually need to keep track about her vision of her own magic and how that
yeah,
functions as well. That's very
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's a little tough to do this retroactively when I've already done the 0 draft. I really wish I had, like, if I had done this before drafting, which I will do in the future, then I would write like some plot points to go with these blue points and to like really
Although
use those.
at times it can be easier to do it retroactively just because you need to start somewhere, and then this is a useful way of just looking back at it and transforming it. It's not just useful for people start because, funnily enough, the way I used Kim Whelan's book as well the first time was trying to fix Olive's character arc. So it
Yeah.
was way after the fact. It was for draft 4 or 5 or whatever it was. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really helpful just to see like, I did naturally hit on some of these things just
yeah,
I've read a lot of books in my life. You kind of know how
yeah,
a character arc goes. And then there are other parts where I realize I'm not hitting it and we could, shift it in a different direction. So
Yeah.
I love this book. But yeah, you can see all the sequences are written out here. And so each sequence is like in Act 1, I think each sequence is like maybe 3 or 4 chapters.
Yeah.
My Act 2A, this sequence is like what I've been working on forever and ever. It's like 10 chapters. Um and yeah, I've got notes here about what needs to get hit basically.
As you're revising and using this, are you also trying to figure out the percentage of where things fall into your book, or do you feel like it's more like a general guideline and it doesn't matter too much if, for instance, you have an out of proportion act compared to the others?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it right now. I will look at it in the future, but
Yeah.
like for instance, I know I'm just about to hit my midpoint and go from 2A to 2B, and I
Yeah.
am exactly at 45,000 words, and I want this to be a 90,000 word novel, so
It's pretty
that feels
good.
pretty good. I think
Because I feel like
I think
acts 1 and 3 are the ones that change the most depending on the genre and how quickly you want to get into the thick of it. And I feel like those are more flexible. And it's more like the midpoint that is quite regularly like in the middle as per its name. So I feel like if you've got the midpoint in the middle, that's your main thing
mhm.
hit, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think a big thing I had to check in January when I was doing this is like, what is my midpoint actually?
Yeah.
Where is the thing where the character goes from reactive to, okay, I'm taking the reins and I'm going to try my best in the
Yeah.
second half of this book to do what needs to be done. Um, so yeah, this, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of like plot specific stuff in it, but just as a point of reference, this really got my brain turning.
Yeah.
And I started doing that pinball thing that we were talking about with the reverse outline, where I was going into my Scrivener and making bullet points in different spaces, like to
Yeah.
connect things. So, yeah, I feel like this is going to be something I use for every book going
I
forward.
love that. Love when you
Yeah.
discover a new method that is just like, this is applicable. I can use this again.
Yeah, it really like calmed me to think about the novel
Mm,
in 8 sequences, 8 chunks. It somehow feels way more approachable than
yeah.
3 or 4 acts. Like that feels giant to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. It's like breaking it down is a lot more manageable. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And Stieg says, I might have to copy this. So there you go.
Yeah. I would love to, if I take out the Hera stuff, like I could easily share this with anybody else who wants to copy it and like use it as a template.
Yeah, I love this. I feel like it's so useful. I might actually ask you for it as well because I would love to. I feel like for Cam Whelan's book, I've got an exercise sheet that I've like copied from the exercises that she suggests in her book,
Mhm.
but I haven't made proper notes, and it's more like from memory, like the detail of what this is supposed to be. And I feel like sometimes my memory fails me, so
Yeah, I mean, I've
just
done
a
like
reminder.
3 different versions of this
Yeah,
with like different I did like a big I did a plot grid using
yeah,
KM Wyland on my last revision prep project. And so
yeah.
I've kind of like just done this different ways, but it's making it actually stick in my head.
I love that. I love this. This is so
So yeah,
nice.
that's what I'm doing.
Lovely. Um, shall I share my crazy reverse
Please.
outline?
I'm ready to lean in close.
Steve says I like to just type out whatever I copy to my Notion so that I get familiar with it. Yeah, if I just copy paste something, it sort of just means nothing to me. Yeah, I agree. And like when we were doing all the craft books, it was really useful to take notes in that way. Felt very like these people who are like talking about doing a personal curriculum. I feel like we sort of did that in a way because it's very
Oh,
much like
totally.
retaining information by taking notes and by seeing what's most useful for me and what I think is most important. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I will. Where am I? What am I sharing? This window. There we go. I think that's working. Yeah.
Whoa.
This is the crazy reverse outline.
Whoa.
Making it bigger so we can see everything. But here it is. So essentially, I took some inspiration from the story grid by Mr. Coin, and his reverse
President Coin.
outline. Yes, Professor Coin. His reverse outline, but the things I've kept made more sense to me, and there's a couple of things I left behind that I was like, that's too much. I don't need that much.
Yeah.
So in the first instance, all I did was doing the scene number. I've used an ID number as well, which is like it gives you the ID order in which you put something in a database on Notion. So it will always be the number in which order you've put it in. So for instance, I created some scenes later and I've now got scenes 48 here just because this was created at the end. But that doesn't matter because I've got them in order here. It's just because I've not named them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've named them after the chapter they're in. So I can also refer back to that. So this is like 1.1 and 1.2 are both scenes in the first chapter, and then 2.1 in the second chapter. Now I've got my word counts for each and my story event. So these are the first thing I did. And the story event was so hard because it's very much supposed to be like a super concise synopsis of what happens in the scene. And I was like, how do I make this as concise as possible? And like figuring out what the essential information is in there sometimes was really
but think how useful this is going to be. Like if you have to go write a synopsis someday.
Yeah, that's true, actually. You're so right. I didn't even think about that part, but yeah. Then the value shift was really difficult as well because it was trying to figure out what is, and I think I still did it wrong in some places for sure, but there's this idea of your characters or your story evolves from the beginning of a scene to the end of a scene. Every single time there should be a value change. And for instance, Themis in the very first scene, she's, retrieving clients from a dangerous planet. And so she goes from annoyed to satisfied because she's annoyed at them and then tells them off by giving them a new contract with a new price to pay for the risks that they're putting her through. And they shut up about it. So she goes from annoyed to satisfied is sort of the value shift. And so he makes them appear in these like little plus and minus signs to represent the value shifts. But you can go from like, for instance, Axel's first scene, he goes from intrigued to very interested. And so it's plus to plus plus. That's sort of the idea. It's kind of complicated. And I really feel like I needed to go through the example he gave of the Silence of the Lambs to fully get it. And I'm not entirely certain how useful this part is to me yet. But the value shift itself has been useful because I have made notes every now and then that was like, I'm not sure what the value shift is here. Does that mean the scene? Is it a reflection on the scene? Is it a reflection on the changes in my character? Should it be more intense? So there's a couple of areas where I've already made a note of like, she should go more from this to this, make that more obvious or like change the value shift essentially.
Yeah.
So that's been useful.
More contrast.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Then the turning point is when the value shift happens. So it's essentially when she goes from annoyed to satisfied, it's because the clients agree to leave due to the risk. So that's the turning point. And turning points are of two kinds. You either have an action or you have a revelation. So I've put every single time which one it is, which I think is helpful to see how many revelations I have, how many actions I have, and that there's a good balance because not everything should be action. It's useful to have a bit of both. So for instance, the turning point of intrigued to interested is with the revelation for Axel that the mission is for Panacea, which he has heard of, and that the captain is Themis. So immediately goes from, one value to more interested.
Cool.
Then put all the POVs in there just to sort of see my balance, even though I've already established Themis is the main POV and Axel has a few less scenes. Timeline-wise, this has been really useful because I'm like, oh my God, on Panacea, I decided that the days are much shorter than on Earth. So
God.
Yeah. shot myself in the foot
Yeah.
with that one. So, for
No, I get
instance,
it. I need to do this still. I still have
yeah.
not established my timeline in my book.
So what I ended up doing is adding in, like, for instance, when they're on Panacea, I have daytime, real, daytime, artificial, and then nighttime. So that helps me knowing like the length of the days.
Wow.
The location's pretty straightforward, but I did do it as a multi-select, so I could, if need be, I could classify it by location and see. And same with the characters. I don't think this is mega useful to me. It's just useful to see. There was one scene, for instance, where I was like, oh, Saturn is in that scene and doesn't say anything. I should maybe make their
Oh,
presence known.
yeah. And do you find
So
the location tab helpful also, or did that just end up being kind of busy work?
I think that wasn't that helpful for me because of me having done already the work of making a whole map of the settlement. So once they're in on Ambrosia Alpha on Panacea, I don't think that it's that useful, except for areas where I was like, actually, they should go in the control room here, just because that was a new area I didn't have before, stuff like that. But that's about it, really. But the most useful that it's been is what I've been doing now, which is going scene by scene to establish what needs to be changed. And it's like, seriously, so I was in scene 19, like of wherever, like 20 or something, and I was like, now that I know who the like company that hired the traitor is, I need to establish more hints up front, and so I
Yeah.
need to make it clearer at the front. So now I went back to scene 1.2, for instance, and they're talking about it, and I added in notes of like when Valia asks about the competitors, I added a note, for instance, that Themis thinks about how Vortex uses a lot of their tech in their own builds, since they make everything to do with biosignatures and locks, including door sensors, scanners, exocases, biolocks, etc., etc. And like that's like a hint as to them being the ones messing with it later on. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have this, because now that I have this gigantic spreadsheet, it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm in here. I need to like change this. Oh, this impacts that scene over there. Let's go back to that scene. Okay, add a
Yeah.
note here, blah, blah, blah. So much easier just
Yeah.
because I have everything in front of me. And I know that Lynn says, why would you do that to yourself? That complicates the timeline so much if your days are shorter. Because the infected thrive in nighttime, so I need it to feel more dangerous.
It really ups the stakes if nighttime comes around twice as fast.
Exactly. So essentially, a day is half a day of Earth Standard Time or whatever, and then they have to rely on the artificial daylight UV lights in the settlement for the other half of the day to make it so they have a regular rhythm, and then you have nighttime. So, which is like regular nighttime. So essentially, you then have 1.5 equals 1 nighttime on Earth. Does that make sense? I feel like my math doesn't math, but you know what I mean.
I think so. I'm gonna go with it. I'm not gonna question it.
This is the giant work I've been doing.
I love
this whole time.
I love being able to just do that pinballing and like doing the foreshadowing and setting things up. This is the best way I've found to do it, is to like attach especially those points to each scene.
Foreshadowing is so difficult to do well, and I think the only way I can remember where to place what is this way. I feel like that's been really useful. But also anything like, for instance, around here, I was like, one of my main issues that I needed to fix is that the character of Saturn initially was supposed to be so much more important and then got a little bit downgraded and is more of a side character. But I wanted to make them back to being a little bit more interesting and prominent. And I was like, I just don't have enough information about them. And I feel like it comes through in the lack of scenes with them. So I decided to I have a scene where Freddie from the past crew asks Themis to chat before they board the ship when they're still on Earth, to be like, I think you're planning something and that's why you've decided to come, and I want you to not plan anything, basically, like sort of like confronting her. And I'm like, I think it would be even better for also Themis' character development that she has to double down and still decide to sabotage the mission if Saturn as well does the same thing. And then that also established more of Saturn's character and who they are as a character and everything. So I've added in new scene where Saturn has a similar discussion as Freddie has with Themis, and then like a couple of notes on it.
Yeah.
And that's useful to have like my scenes all planned out so I can see where I'm missing something. Like I realized, especially with the timeline was so useful here to be like, wait, they're supposed to spend 2 whole weeks on this ship, but I have like 2 days in there. I need a little bit more scenes on the ship.
Yeah. I know that this is in my future because I am still doing the brackets on like how much time they have until certain event. And I think I've realized it's just going to be easier if I write the book first and see how long, because I'm constantly changing what's happening on what day. So I almost feel like I need to apply it retroactively.
I do think a timeline is really useful, and I have no qualms about making a timeline retroactively because I've done that for every single book I've written because I always fuck up my timeline at some point. Or there's always a point, there's constantly a point where I'm like, this was cool when I wrote it, but now I'm rereading it. It's like, this should take way longer, or this should take a lot less time.
Especially, I especially have like struggled with it because certain things happen when Hera goes to sleep every night. And like, I don't at some points want her to like have multiple nights of sleep because of plot. I need her to only have one night of sleep or something. So like, I'm still like figuring that out as I'm doing the rewrite.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is when you realize these things after, to me, they make perfect sense as having these in the revision session and not always know exactly what it's going to be like from the outline. Even as someone who outlined in detail this time around, there's plenty that I had to fix with the timeline. So I think that's normal.
Yeah. Stay flexy.
Yes. But yeah, that was my beauty.
It is a beauty. It is. That is
I'm very
so
proud
awesome.
of that one. This really appealed to my Virgo moon for sure.
I love it.
As Steve says, she's a beaut.
Yeah, she is. She is.
What did I miss as well? Steve said, I like to just type out whatever I copy to my Notion. Yes, I did read that. Do you do a full cap story sheet too from the book, the global story sheet or whatever he calls it? No, because I don't see the use of that. I feel like that's pretty bad to say. There's like several things you can do with this. And there are 2 things I've decided to ignore for now. One of them is what he calls the foolscap sheet, and it looks like that.
Oh, whoa.
And it's basically all of your, it's almost like your ID card for your story. And it's got like everything about what happens in your acts. So essentially it goes in more like a macro vision, and this is more of a micro vision. And the macro vision is about, you also have an external and internal change in the value shifts for the overall theme of the story. Mm-hmm. So like an example is that the main character from The Silence of the Lambs, Clarice, goes in the 2nd act, I think it is, Act 2A, beginning hook. It goes move from blind belief to justified belief, for instance. And that's like an example of how like her overarching like character internal arc and like what the change is. And it goes a little bit more in detail about that kind of stuff. And I don't want to do that. I feel like my character's fine.
I have to say the sight of that made me go, bleh.
Yeah.
It does not look fun.
The other thing I'm not doing yet, and I've not decided yet if I was going to do, is like the point of doing these plus and minus signs is to then plot them as like an actual graph. So this is for the 1st act, I think, in The Silence of the Lamb, and it's supposed to like go down, and then it goes, and you have like both the external charge and anyway, it's so much. It's so intense. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. That's too much for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer to that. Sorry. Yeah, the value shift and plus and minus is an interesting like new thing. I think it's just good. I might just do like a mini graph to see how it goes, and if it's like if it only goes up, it doesn't make sense, for instance. So I think that's the main thing. But I have two POVs, and so I think I should split them unless my value shift is for the story and not for the POV, if that makes sense.
It's like what do you define as a plus or a minus?
Well, that's the thing is I've mostly done it internally. I think there's probably a couple of scenes where I shifted and was like, that's more about the story, and it was more of an external charge, but I've mostly done it for the internal arcs, I think. So I kind of should do split POVs graphs if I really wanted to see the evolution. Yeah. I have complicated things for myself. That's true. C says, I set a clock on my novel for 30 days in chapter 1, and the novel resolves itself in like a week. So it made no sense. So for draft 2, I have started spacing out the scenes a little more so that we're actually spending some time and the ticking clock is ticking. Yeah. So it's been better in revisions, placing a few days between my scenes and sort of recap that my character looked for work before the next scene. Yeah. I like that. I think that's the thing is sometimes you realize there's some movies when we were younger and we watched that I was like, what do you mean they fell in love in like 5 days? This is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Or it all takes place in 2 days or something.
And you're like, this makes no sense. And I feel like we can't do that anymore, especially when you're writing. You can get away with it in Hollywood. You can't get away with it in our books. Love it. Maybe I need to get into Notion after all. There you go. Maybe. Shortcutting looking at that. Yeah. Story grid does story level graph because that's multiple POVs. Yeah, so I've been focusing more on the POVs than on the story itself. So the story level graphs I don't have the information for, I guess, because I think you need the full cap as well. I'm not sure. But anyway, I've been focusing on the POVs, I think, more than... Because the thing about the story grid as well is that he explains to you the difference between like the external story and the internal stories, which is sort of what Kim Willand also talks about, I guess, in the character arc thing, where we're focusing on making the character arc match the external story in a way.
Right.
And I don't think he talks about it in that way. I think he splits them a little bit more separately. But books today are a lot more, these are combined and your plot
they're
aligns.
Intertwined.
Yeah. So I focused on one and I was like, well, I've been more into character arcs these days. So that's what we're focusing on.
Makes sense. And you want the action that you choose to be born out of what you need the character arc to do. That's the lesson that I think I learned in 2024 and 5.
And I think using this book and doing all of these different revision process has taught me one thing is to pick and choose. And I feel like before I was very much like, are you giving me a template? I have to follow it exactly. The save the cat method, this has to match the exact beat sheet and it has to be this and this, then that. And now I feel like I've evolved to finally just pick and choose what works for me and be like, okay, no, actually, I only need this. But for this thing, I'm using that method. And for that thing, I'm using this method, etc. So
absolutely.
That way.
Yeah.
I feel like I have yapped for so much about this now. And we're not going to do another sprint, guys. Sorry. I feel like it's been 2 hours and 14 minutes. So this has been long enough.
It was good, though. It was really fun to get a sneaky peeky into your Notion, as always.
Yes, and same with yours. I'm tempted to steal some of the information.
Please, anyone feel free.
But I think that was the last of the comments anyway. So we are gonna probably have a really shitty countdown end because I still don't want to pay for premium.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Yes, thank you guys for coming, and we'll probably do one in March that we haven't decided a date on yet, but you'll see us again, do the same thing on Anna's channel, and she will be way more prepared than I am. I'm not putting any pressure on you.
Maybe, we'll see.
I feel like you usually are.
I'll fake it.
And I think probably the D&D stream is still going. So if anyone wants to go see that and is in the chat, feel free to move over.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. Let me grab my shitty little countdown and we shall say goodbye. Bye, guys.
Bye.